So if you go over there, have a chance to enter, there are some really cool resin figures over there, so do be sure to check that out. So you can go over to the kiosk over there for more information. But yeah, so we are beginning this morning with the Candy Champ panel. We are with that's what it says in the program, and it's the Candy Champ. It's the Candy Champ can.
It's the Candy Champ can.
Yeah. So we
make the world taste good and kill people and turn them into candy.
Yeah. So we're with Josh Martin and Chris Rager this morning. So how are you gentlemen doing today?
We're well, thank you.
Fantastic.
How are you guys doing?
Thanks for having us.
All right, nice. Let's just give like a quick rundown about what you guys do on the show, just for anybody who may need a reminder, because it was Saturday night last night.
It was.
Yes.
It was. Well, I'm Chris Rager. I play the voice of Hercule / Mr. Satan, or as we all know and come to love him as Mark. And my good friend Josh Martin is...
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, it is.
That's my alarm clock, by the way.
It's been your one of your wake-up calls like since the early 2000s, right?
It has.
You can't snooze it.
Why would you want to? But yeah, so this is a Q&A for these gentlemen, and so if you do have a question, feel free to come up and ask these gentlemen what's gotten you thinking about stuff. But since this is the Candy Champ panel, I have to ask you both, since candy, sweets, food in general, basically Mr. Satan's become a bit of a feeder at the moment. Yeah, what is your actual favorite candy, as it were, like something that a candy product that you can't get enough of?
I know Josh's. It's Starburst.
Oh yes,
American candy.
Starburst. Y'all get Starburst here?
yeah, we did.
Yeah. All right, good.
We used to have them called Opal fruits here back in the 90s.
Opal fruits?
Yes, they used to be like that. They become Starburst after they changed the formula because too many artificial colours.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, I know.
I bet those were good though.
No, they are good. No, definitely.
My favorite candy. Y'all have a candy here in England called Smarties. They're like little chocolate M&Ms. In America, we have a thing called Smarties, and they're like little sweet and sour chalky candies. Completely different.
Yeah, I tried one of those. It's like,
Yeah.
that's a Smartie. I'm thinking, that's not a Smartie.
No, it is not. There's no chocolate in it whatsoever. It's more of like a sweet tart in a way kind of feel.
Yeah, that does sound
And I love those. And there's like little cellophane wrappers of these little tiny chalk candies, and I eat those all day.
All right, nice.
Yes.
So, we talked briefly about your time in the UK in past times, but how has your time been here this time around? Has it been pretty good?
Been awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, once again.
Yeah, when we go places, Josh and I have pretty good karma together, so we don't really usually have a lot of issues or anything. We usually have a good time anywhere we go. We are the good time, really. That's what we bring. When we come into a situation, we bring a good time.
Very nice.
But no, you guys have been great. Give yourselves a round of applause. Right? Let's hear from you guys.
Thank y'all.
And really, that's what makes a good con for us, is the people and the fans, and just getting to talk and hang out, whether it's a big, giant convention or a nice, good one like this, like an intimate one where you can kind of sit down and talk to people individually and stuff, and so we like them all.
All right, nice. It just feels like a little bit of a nice party here today. So
That's
just
it.
you just chill, walk around. It's very relaxed, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So, hey, my next question is basically we all know that you do stuff on Dragon Ball and whatnot, but what's the kind of thing that you like doing in your spare time? So it's something that your hobbies and stuff like that you kind of do once the microphone's been put away, your voice is recovering from an obviously really tough session. What do you do to kind of wind down?
I have children, so I don't have many hobbies. But I like music and wrestling. I'm fortunate enough to do music, perform music, as would get paid sometimes in a Beastie Boys tribute band called Rhymin' and Stealin', and I do MCA's part. And it's pretty fun. Yeah, been doing that for 10
Beastie Boy
years.
fans out there?
Yeah.
Beastie Boys?
fans.
What, 2 people?
Yep, three.
It didn't quite resonate over here, I guess.
Right.
No sleep till Milton.
Milton Keynes.
Milton, no sleep till Milton. Anyway.
But yeah, wrestling and music. That's my spare time stuff.
Okay, nice.
I play an inordinate amount of video games, like a lot of video games. I play video games most of the day. At least I try to. I like to play Madden. I'm a big U.S. football guy, and so there's a Madden game I like to play. I'm very excited about getting to play Borderlands 3 here soon, but I've not gotten to play it really yet. Because I had to come here, which is great, but I want to be playing some Borderlands here very soon. A lot of gaming.
Okay, yeah, nice. I've been like that many times. Like, you go to a convention, and you think, well, there's a video game that's coming out. It's like the new Dragon Ball game that's coming out. I've got a convention going that is released on the 17th of January, and the convention I'm heading out to, I leave on the 17th of January. So, man, it's such a good game, but it's just unfortunate I won't be able to get to play it for a little while.
Sort of like, play Borderlands 3 or free trip to England. Okay, I'm going to England.
Well, Borderlands 3 will be there when you get back.
It will be.
Then you go you can just go listen to your voice and say, hey, that's me. Nice.
That's right. I usually do that.
Yes,
I bring everyone into the room who's around. Listen, guys, listen. I'm that guy. They're like, what? I didn't hear it. Oh, you missed it.
Yeah, no, quite a few of my clan are in Borderlands 3. I think Brian Olvera is in it as well. So that was pretty fun to see.
Yeah.
It's like loads of our crew. That's pretty nice.
It is nice, right?
Good to see that. Yeah. So, okay, let's swing it back to Dragon Ball for a little bit before we open it up for the floor. So, again, if you guys have any questions, just do feel free to come up. So, basically, for those of you, so for the people that may not have been here, what's been like the... So when you first went in to record and you saw Dragon Ball for the first time, and your character doing a certain thing in the show that made you do a double take, like what, he does that? So you kind of you go in for a surprise and you kind of you're not sure how to react, or it's something that you didn't expect. Were there any moments like that?
Mine was when Evil Boo separated from Fat Boo and then turned him into a cookie and ate him. and then I didn't work for a few months. So, yeah, that was besides the weirdness that I knew that he turned things into candy and sweets and things and ate it, but I didn't know that I was gonna turn myself, and I didn't know all that, and I was even more confused because that was my first experience with not only Dragon Ball Z but anime.
Oh.
So yeah, I was aware of anime and I'd watched Speed Racer and things like that, but I wasn't a fan per se. So really, my first anime was Dragon Ball Z.
All right, yeah, because it was definitely one of those moments where it's just like, if it hadn't been for those, dang jerks that tried to shoot B, it's like, why would you shoot B? It's like, and then you get Boo just going effectively Super Saiyan and making this as great evil dude.
Mr. Satan had it all sorted out.
He had it all sorted out. And
I did.
Those guys had to just rain on the parade.
Well, the funny thing is we were in a comedy troupe together before we were in Dragon Ball Z, right? And Josh, myself, Mike McFarland, who plays Master Roshi. And so over the years, a few of the other guys in the comedy troupe would come in and, do some parts here and there. And that particular guy who shot B was a blonde-haired, ponytailed fellow, right? His name was Van Zant, right? Van Zant. And Van Zant was actually played by our friend Mark Orvik. And just recently, I may or may not have been recording on a game of some sort. I can't confirm that. But I noticed that they had put Man with Gun, right, in the script. And I told the director, I'm like, that character's name is Van Zant, and I can tell you the voice actor who did it, right, because it had been years since he was an Australian guy, too. It was an Australian accent, if you remember. Anyway, so he shot B, but that was actually a good friend of ours. And I kind of like that moment in there because, it's like me and my friends all in this one scene, even though it's kind of a horrible scene, the dog getting shot. So sometimes people ask, what's your favorite scene? I'm like, when B gets shot. People are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, well, it's for a different reason, so.
Okay, well, there's another scene with Mr. Satan that basically kind of made you just think you wouldn't expect him to do that.
Well, I tell you, when I auditioned for the character, he was sort of loud and bombastic, full of himself and stuff like that. So in my head, I never really wrapped around the idea that he was going to freak out and get scared and cower in a corner and shiver and stuff like that. So kind of finding those moments of this, big tough guy voice thing, into we're all gonna die, please help me, I don't want to die, and having those, finding the ways to add those comic moments into, his extreme confidence, into his extreme cowardice. Was kind of fun for me, because I wasn't expecting that to happen, that I would have to kind of go to these extremes. I didn't really know much about the show or the character as far as like what his real involvement was going to be, so it was kind of fun to find that out, like, oh cool, I get to kind of go, I don't have to just be this guy all the time, I get to kind of play around a little bit, so that was fun.
Yeah, no, basically when you actually look into the further research that Toriyama-san did on like the origin of Mr. Satan is at the Satan Dojo,
right?
It's basically they taught him to do that. That's pretty much the master. They all rely on like various tricks and stuff like that. Oh my god, I got a bad stomachache.
Oh, my stomach, yeah.
That's very much where he learned it.
Really?
So it's
they
like,
were teaching them that?
Yeah, it's like it was a self-defense technique. It was like an active distraction.
Right.
So it's just like loads of different like information that comes out from Mr. Satan, and you realize, oh, okay, that's just not him making a trick. Oh no, that's just the Satan Dojo's way of self-defense.
We need that side story. We need that side story where we see the training today.
Well, we do. Well, I do have a what if on my channel that does go into deep detail about what he does, and basically uses the extra lore that Toriyama added. So basically, what if Mr. Satan trained like Goku, stuff like that? He becomes besties with Krillin. Yeah. That's the thing. So basically, there are ways of bringing it in and kind of like ingratiating it into the lore. But anyway, so let's have a little bit of time. So if anyone's got any questions, all right, sir, come on up.
You guys know what's coming.
Oh, point that away from that.
Yes.
From that speaker. Yeah.
Okay. So this weekend I've learned that you guys not only did a comedy show together, but have amazing skills to imitate other people around the world. So I'm going to ask you guys to do a bit of improv.
Okay.
And here are your characters. Josh, you're John Burkrow. Rhaegar, you are Donald Trump. And your scenario is Trump is trying to give Burkrow political advice on how to do his job.
All right. Oh God.
Well, sir, I'm very well.
I don't understand what you're saying. I can't understand you.
No.
It's like he's talking a foreign language. It's like he's talking a foreign language.
Order. Sir.
Right,
young man.
Do you speak English, sir?
No, young man.
I can't
you have no spot to counsel me on litigation in the House of Commons, which was affixed thereto, wherefore out thou to the windscreen of my wife's automobile.
Right, well, I'm opening up a hotel called the House of Commons. It's opening up here very soon in England.
No, we do not accept it.
I will allow foreign leaders to come and stay in my hotel. It'll be great.
The honourable gentleman.
No conflict of interest.
The honourable gentleman. No. Next.
Seriously, I don't even. Do y'all understand what he's saying? I'm completely confused. I don't know. It's crazy.
I quit.
I'll take his job. I'll be president of the U.S. and prime minister of the U.K. That's what I'm going to do. Boom. You're lucky. It's 2 for 1 or 1 for 2. I don't know. I'm not good at math.
Thank you. Obviously.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. So
John Bearco.
Who else has got like some questions for the floor?
Order.
So if you'd like to come up, please. Again, I wish I had a wireless microphone so I can come up and do it, but make do with what we got. We muck in and say it.
While you're saying you love Madden, is there any other video games that you enjoy?
Oh no, quite a lot. Like I said, I'm looking forward to Borderlands. I not too long ago got off a very long stint of Fallout 4, which I truly love. Love that game. I literally played it several times through, just trying to make different things happen and stuff like that. Because I was really trying to find out how you actually make all 4 of them part of your faction still, right? I couldn't figure that one out, but I might go back in one more time to try to figure that one out. But, man, what other video games do I like to play? I like story-based games, so we need like Assassin's Creed and those kinds of games. Any good long storyline-based game where I can really kind of get into that world and map and those kinds of things. I'm looking forward to like the Kakarot game because I actually kind of like that kind of game. And so like the open world kind of games, I enjoy those, for sure. You're welcome.
Yeah, going off the back of that, like Kakarot, with every single, like when the trailers first came out for it, people were just like, they should have made Xenoverse 3, because everyone was like not really interested in it. But as the weeks that followed with more trailers and like more footage out of it, people are realizing, oh, okay, this is something kind of special. Because there's a lot of
different.
Because Toriyama's saying there's brand new lore in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one of the things is that one of the things I find absolutely hilarious is that there's a fishing sequence, and Goku can basically just like, he just sticks a random tail on his butt and goes fishing like he does when he's a kid. Right. And yet Vegeta, you think, oh, is he going to do that? And then Vegeta's like, no way am I going to be like that. He just gets a fishing pole. You think, oh, he's going to do that? No, he doesn't do that at all.
I'm not doing that monkey business.
It's like, you expect me, the Prince of all Saiyans, to do that? As if. And then but no, it's just that you just see him, all they needed to do, they did a shrewd marketing pitch by basically having Vegeta in all the trailers with the bad man costume. Yeah. That's all they needed to do. That's all they needed to do, and people will pay attention, like, right, I'm listening. But no, that game seems really, really good, and I'm looking forward to it coming out. And the story-based thing, I'm on your level on that one.
Yeah, I like story games.
Yeah.
I like characters. You got to give me a story. I got to have something to invest in some capacity.
Yeah.
That connects me to the characters and the people, you know. So.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, do you have any like games that you particularly like to play, or that you have played in the past that really resonate with you?
My favorite games are driving games.
Oh, really?
Yes, I liked. I'm an old school Gran Turismo guy.
Hey.
Way back, started with that one. Well, I'll go back to Night Driver. Anybody played that one? No. Yeah, Atari. Exactly. Right. So really, that was where my love of driving games started, with Night Driver. I love Gran Turismo, Pole Position, back in the day, but
Spy Hunter?
GTA, I played Spy Hunter, yes.
Yeah.
I like the motorcycle games.
Have you seen like the Codemasters' new Grid series they're bringing out? So new Grid, and it's like brand new
Forza.
Forza, yeah, but like Codemasters bringing out Grid, so it's like brand new, like one for like PC and stuff. Yeah, brand new, and it's like got like loads of like, and I think like Fernando Alonso is like the main boss of it all, like Need for Speed. It's like he's like your main representative, the guy that you've got to go after. So it's like, yeah, there are loads of good driving games out there. Driving games are my jam.
Looks like nice. I won't be taking care of my children now.
Driving them crazy.
Oh, and honorable mention to Katamari Damacy.
Yes, Katamari is one of those. It's a very underrated series of games. It's bonkers. I love it because it's a simple story, but it's just completely insane and it's random, and it's all about. I'd say it's very cathartic almost. Just like you've really got to like, it's like, it's like, you try and make me tidy up my room, Mom. I'll tidy it up, all right. I'll tidy up the world. All right. So I think we've got time for maybe a couple more questions. So, all right, shoot, man. And then you next. So, you first. Cool. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I was just going to ask a general question for both of you. What was the story of you guys first getting the Dragon Ball Z gig? What were you doing at the time? Not literally in the moment, but like other work-wise, and then coming back for Super as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my first experience actually it was like I was saying before. Josh and I were at a comedy troupe. We were called Section 8 Comedy, and we're fairly well known in the Dallas market, and had been playing for a few years. Shut up, Ian. I'd like to see you put 150 butts on a Tuesday night into a bar and make them laugh. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, we were very popular and hilarious, and Ian was not in it because he was 12. So, anyway, long story short, Mike McFarland, who was he was an anime fan and he was a Dragon Ball fan, and I'm trying to talk to the people, Ian. Go. So, basically, Mike comes in one day and he's like, "Hey man, I booked a part doing some voices on cartoons." I'm like, "Really? What was that about?" He's like, "Oh, this place of Funimation out in Fort Worth, Texas, and they need actors. So you guys should go and audition." I was like, "Well, yeah, I was like, and you booked a part?" Mike's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "If you can do it, Mike, I can do it." Right? So I went and auditioned. Mr. Satan was on the docket that day. I think there were a couple other characters, but I don't really remember who they were because I was kind of focused on that guy because I seemed to like something was connecting there. He looked like Hulk Hogan to me and a little bit of Randy Macho Man Savage, and so I kind of put together this voice. I auditioned. They liked it. and then they gave me the part. So I've been doing that for about a year or so, and then Chris Sabat and some of the other Funimation people had come out to see our comedy show, and they had before on different occasions and this and that, but on this particular night, Josh was doing a character in our show, and I'll let him tell that story.
I did a character called the Pillsbury Homeboy. Do you familiar with the Pillsbury Doughboy? Nothing says nothing like my crescent rolls. So our idea in true comedy fashion was that he was on his way home from school one day and got jumped by a rival gang member from the Keebler Elves, and that triggered him into getting into gang-affiliated activities and rapping. And so I would redo raps by Snoop Dogg and rap like the Pillsbury Doughboy and curse and be completely rude and inappropriate. And apparently, Chris Sabat thought, I think that'll work for Majin Buu. Yeah. And so, next thing you know, 3 days later, I went in the next day to record, and I thought, wow, this is silly. Because all I was doing was, and then they called me back the next day. Then they called me back the third day. And then I thought, I think I got this part.
It took Josh that long to realize he wasn't still auditioning.
It did. And 19 years later, they call me back every year to do something, and which was, it started in 2013 with Battle of Gods, kind of like a little resurgence, and then I had no idea we were coming into Super, but here we are. So thank you all for having us.
Yeah. When the Super thing kind of happened, it was, there'd be a video game here and there, and, we'd go do that, and that kind of kept us alive. And to be quite honest, the people who kept Dragon Ball somewhat more relevant during that time were these guys right over here. Because there was a good block of time there where there was no Dragon Ball, and these guys were doing their Bridge series and stuff. And I think it kept it really somewhat relevant, and kind of kept that train moving along, Toye, people like that would never admit that. And, if you ask them, I never said that. So, exactly. So, but yeah, no, to have it come back was like, hell yeah, that's cool, that's fun, and yeah, sign me up.
Nice, okay. You had the gentleman there. We'll just make this quick and we'll wrap things up and we'll get on with the next panel afterwards. So what's your question, sir?
Right, thank you. For the two of you, what are your favourite desserts and why? Going back to the candy thing.
Right, but desserts, specifically desserts.
Two different things.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I love creme brulee, key lime pie, bread pudding. I am typecast for Majin Buu because I like sweets and candy. Yes, but I don't destroy people. I love people.
You just asked nicely for
I'm
it.
the good one.
I like probably the most trash dessert there is. I like store-bought birthday cake. Man, I love that shit. I'm not lying. White cake with white icing, just like super white. I guess I don't know why that is. I love that stuff. So I will eat that, but can't eat too much of it. Or apparently have already. So.
No, there's no judging it. It's dessert. It's a perfectly good dessert.
You know what we say in Louisiana? You can eat all the dessert you want, enjoy it to the fullest. You will not gain a pound. It'll just be more of you to love.
Boom. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Candy Champ panel. So thank you very much, everybody. But stay in your seats for a premiere of a YouTube video coming out about Dragon Ball in the UK. So we'll get that. We'll just get things sealed up. But thank you very much, gentlemen.
It is our pleasure. Give yourselves a round of applause, guys. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. Come by and say hello.